Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this Thursday, the 5th of August, 2021. Thank you for tuning in. Glad to have you guys here. Now, toward the end of the show, after I do the markets reports, I'm going to do my pets report. We put our pets up on there. And anyway, listen, guys, I'm going to tell you what. We're right on track. My forecast I made for the economy back, about a year ago, it's right on track. It's happening just exactly the way I told you guys it would happen. We're getting the inflation now that I told you guys about, and we've experienced the tepid, I say tepid meaning lukewarm, recovery that I told you guys about. So we're right on track. I also said that we have a pretty good Christmas this year. Moving into next year, watch out. Watch out. I said it's going to come first or second quarter. So if my predictions are correct that I made a year ago, the first or second quarter is when we're really going to start to have the trouble. So what's the trouble going to look like? Well, the system wants to deflate, and it's because the Fed is reactionary. They only react if they have a problem to react to. And the amount of money that they injected during the COVID crisis, I believe it's going to carry us into next year, the early part of next year, before the deflationary pressures get too strong, and it pulls the economy down through a very similar. It's going to look very similar to what it looked like when COVID first came along, how the stock markets fell out of bed. That's what it's going to look like. Big drops in the stock market, turmoil in the financial markets. And I believe that the Fed's going to come along and respond to this when it happens in the first two quarters of next year. Probably anywhere from January to about mid-year. It's going to happen. When they respond to it, this is going to be the last straw, guys. It's going to be the last straw. Because they're going to have to respond to it in a big way. And they're going to have to, basically the only tool they have is to create new currency units. And it's going to finally tip the whole thing over, tip the apple cart over. And what we're going to have happen is we're going to see inflation be more than just what we've experienced now. It's going to start to move toward the hyperinflation then. And the hyperinflation is going to advance rather quickly once it really gets started next year. And you've got to prepare for it. If you don't have anything that's out of the dollar, and I know you guys are thinking, see, this is the problem. This is the problem right now. I'm going to tell you guys what the problem is. You're thinking you need a lot. Because these things that are out of the dollar right now are so weak. You think you need a lot. You think you need, I need a lot of Bitcoin. I need a lot of silver. I need a lot of gold. And I can't afford all that. This is the big mistake you're making. These things are going to go so valuable. They're going to become so valuable that you don't need a lot. If you don't have any, you're going to be in big trouble. And you only need a little bit. You don't need a lot. So, I mean, some of you guys out there are saying, well, I don't have very much silver. I only got, all I got is one roll of dimes, silver dimes. You might be surprised how far that'll go when this thing hits, because the magnitude of it. You've got a transfer of wealth that's going to be 100%. The fiat currencies are going to zero. That means all the wealth that's stored in fiat. A guy goes out and he's got his car in his yard and he says, my car is worth so many dollars, or my house is worth so many dollars. All of that fiat's going to be worth zero. And all of that wealth is going to be transferred over into these hard assets. We're going back to hard money again. The world's going back to hard money. Meaning gold, silver, cryptos. And yes, cryptos is hard money. Bitcoin's hard money. You can't cheat the Bitcoin system. You can't, just like the gold system, you can't cheat it. You can't cheat the Bitcoin system either. There's only so many Bitcoins to go around, and there's never going to be any more. If you're talking about the real thing, not some sort of counterfeit forked whatever, you know, but you're talking about the real Bitcoin, you can't cheat that system either. It's hard money. It's a hard money system. So is gold and silver. And that's what the world's going back to. And so all these assets, you don't need a big amount. You need some. Because when this transfer happens, if you don't have any, you're going to get caught on that side where if you're reliant upon the government for a handout, or you're relying upon the government for money, what they call money, which is actually just currency units, those currency units aren't going to buy you the things that you need in order to survive in a hyperinflating world. So don't think in terms of, oh, I need a lot. I need to buy $100,000 of Bitcoin or whatever. You only need a little bit. And same with silver and gold. You don't need a lot. But you got to have some. And you're best to have all three. Because we don't know exactly which way this is going to go yet. It might all transfer into Bitcoin. And then you got gold and silver and it's not worth that much. Well, what if it all transfers into gold and silver and Bitcoin just goes down the toilet? It could go either way. It might go all into Bitcoin. Or it might all go into gold and silver and Bitcoin get left out. You just don't know yet. It's one of those things where you just don't know which direction it's going to push in. But it's coming. And so really you should have all three. Cryptos, gold, and silver. And, you know, it's not long now. We're getting close to the gate. Let's get into the markets. Let's open up the charts now, right here, and take a look at what's going on with the gold and silver price. You know, I'm going to tell you guys, the price is so suppressed on these assets, considering where we're going in the very near future. Right now, the price is so suppressed. The silver price is down 11 cents at 25.26 today. You know, even when I'll tell you where silver's probably going to go. Now, I mean, it's probably going to go back to where it was all the way through history, up until this very short period in time we've had, where silver, a guy can work at McDonald's, you know, and for every hour's work, he can buy like an ounce, well, a half an ounce of silver for each hour of work. That's absurd. All the way through history. Do you know what silver was worth? The Romans used to pay them in a coin called a denarius. It was a little silver coin. It was exactly the size of our modern day dime. It was roughly just under 1/10 of 1 ounce. They used to work 12 hours for 1 denarii. I'm going to tell you guys what, that was the standard through history. A rich person might have, it's like this. Right now, a young guy working at McDonald's in a day, you know, he could make 4 ounces of silver, practically, right? In 1 day's work. That's not the way it's been through history. The way it's been through history, he'd have to work for a month to get that much silver or more through history. It's going to go back to that again. It's going to go back to the historical, what it used to be, you know. Everything has gone nutty. Everything's nutty right now in the world that we live in. It's upside down. The markets move. They don't move intuitively the way a natural market should move. A crisis happens in the world and the markets will go up because they figure it's going to mean more stimulus. Everything's upside down right now. But things are going to straighten back out again when we move back into a system where fiat currencies don't rule. hard money rules. When we go back to hard money again, and we're going to because we're forced to, all these fiat currencies are going to go to zero. And that's hard to imagine. I can't hardly imagine it, but it's going to happen because people just don't trust them anymore. People's losing faith in them. They're printing them into oblivion. It's a currency war where that's a race to the bottom for all these countries with their fiat currencies. This is the end of fiat. What we're witnessing is the end of fiat and the birth of going back to hard money again. You got to be on the right side of this trade, guys, really. So we're looking at silver price today. Now we're going to take a look at gold. Honest to gosh, guys, you got to get on the right side of this trade, really. $8.70 down, 1802. And I know it's been suppressed and knocked down and knocked down and knocked down again. Gold and silver, and it gets depressing. You buy the stuff and you're seeing your money devalue in what you purchased in the gold and silver. Because the price keeps going down when the price of everything else is going up. And it's like very depressing. But you know, when this ends, it's going to start to end suddenly. And you're not going to be able to buy any. So if you're waiting for that lowest price, guys, saying, oh, you know, silver price and gold price will go down because we're going to have a little deflation coming up in our future. Yeah, that's probably right. And the paper price might go down during that time. But you're going to see that the physical is going to disappear. Because when the crisis really starts to hit and turmoil starts to hit the financial system, that's the first place they run for safety is gold and silver. And they're going to strip the physical clean and bare. And you're not going to get any then of real physical. So don't wait for that time. Start accumulating slowly. Cost price average when you accumulate it. Try to buy the dips. And cost price average. Okay, now we're looking at cryptos today. And cryptos is Bitcoin price of 38,922. So Bitcoin settled back down just a little bit. It was starting to heat up there a little bit again. I just inherently, I don't completely trust cryptos. And that goes back to a deep-seated thing. All the time I grew up, you know, and everything, I only trust what you can hold and see in your hand. And this is a thing where I don't completely trust computers either. I grew up, I didn't get my first computer until the year 2000. I was already a full-grown man and everything, you know. And I suppose to trust these digital assets, you've got to be born into a digital system to have complete trust in them. I'm old school. I don't completely trust them. I trust what I can hold in my hand. And so, yeah, I understand Bitcoin. I understand it might end up winning in the end. Because the world is moving into digital everything. And very rapidly. But the thing is trust it for my money? I'm not so sure. You know, but then again, too, the way I think to myself, hey, you know, I don't want to miss out on the boat either. So, as far as Bitcoin is concerned, you know, I mean, this stuff has got advantages over gold and silver. And the fact that you can send a Bitcoin halfway around the earth in 10 minutes, it's there. Less than 10 minutes, it's totally there. And seamlessly. It's amazing stuff, really, this stuff. Okay, Dow Jones Industrial Average today. 34,980. It's up 187 points today. Now let's take a look at the crude oil. Crude oil is up 20 cents on the day so far, 68.35. We're going to take a look at the MOVE index today, 62.67. The MOVE index has been going along sideways for the last few days, ever since it made a peak of around 70. Now we're going to take a look at bonds and rates, and we're seeing rising yields today. It's not significant, but it's fairly, it's over 1 basis point. On the 10 years, 2.3 basis points. 10 years at 120. We're looking at a U.S. 30-year at 1.85, and it's up 1.3 basis points on the day so far. And now for the U.S. dollar index at 92.22 on the U.S. dollar index. And the dollar is slowly going down today a little bit. It's got a down day. Thank you guys for listening to my show. And now for the pets. Well, here's our pets for today. The first pet we're going to show you is sent in to us. His name is Buster Lamb. And he's an adopted puppy from a rescue. And he's about 6 months old. And so this is Buster Lamb. Now, the next dog that we're going to look at is called Apache. And he's 11 years old. He's a Labrador Chow mix. And he's at the lake, and he's waiting for his owner to throw something. So this is Apache. And he's owned by Cisco, and this is Apache. Now the next one is owned by David, and he's a uranium glass dog. Now this dog's very special, and I'll tell you why. His uranium glass is actually made from uranium, and as we all know, uranium is an isotope that actually puts off a small amount of radioactivity. So this pet, I suppose it wouldn't pay to keep him too close to you too long, you know. But very special glass that was made from uranium, and some of the glass had less uranium in it, some had more. And some of it, I guess, was up to 25% uranium, some of the uranium glass. So very rare. Now we'll do one more, and this comes from Christina, and this is her special little guy, and he is called Getty. And he is wearing a bow tie in this picture. Let me see. This is Getty wearing his bow tie. And this is a small print here. Anyway, thank you guys for looking at the show today. These have been our pets, and we'll catch you guys in the very next episode. Bye-bye.